What's up, guys? Here MokzZ Gaming, your F2 player spokesperson if you are looking for the best characters tier list, new hero and events of November, especially for beginners. This video will help you choose the right one. Recommend watching repeatedly. If you find this video is helpful, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe channel. Well, let's dive right into today's topic. Let's diving into the mysterious realm of B tier characters. Firstly, Orly support type deals damage equal to 140 of attack in a tomb area around the target. Aura skill grants scale LV 5 to melee type allies, increases attack speed by 20s. Ballista range type deals critical hit damage equal to 175% of attack to the target, inflicts curse for 5 sec upon a successful attack. Sylvia range type targets hit are taunted, forcing them to attack Sylvia. When Sylvia is knocked down, she gains the unyielding effect for 10 seconds, limited to 1 use. During this effect, she will not receive fatal damage. Bane E range type initially consumes 60% of its own max HP to deal critical hit damage equal to 500% of attack in a 2-meter radius around the target. If killed, can be resurrected through a passive skill, restoring 100% HP, but can only be used once. Wiser defense type deals critical hit damage to targets within a 2-meter range, inflicting burn effect for 1 second, dealing an additional 20% damage per second. Aleem range type deals final critical hit damage equal to 150% of attack to targets within a 2-meter radius, and it lasts for 2 seconds. Passive skill increases evasion by 50%. Ling Ling support type boasts a versatile skill set. Her attacks deal 175% of her attack as damage to the primary target and deliver 140% of her attack as critical hit damage to nearby foes. Ling Ling also temporarily reduces the enemy's critical hit damage. What sets her apart is her support role. This protective measure enhances the durability of her comrades, making her a valuable asset on the battlefield. Next, let's talk about a tier. Mayo Song melee type attacks the closest targets first, deals 200% attack as critical hit damage to the target and gains a 20% final defense boost for 2 seconds upon a successful attack. It also deals 230% attack damage in a 2-meter by 4-meter area in front of the caster, inflicting a 1.2 second stun. Lucrezia defense type after a successful attack reduces Lucrezia's skill cooldown by 2 seconds and grants Lucrezia the Veil buff for 10 seconds, which can negate damage taken up to 10 times. Balika range type V-like makes the target tense upon a successful attack, applying the curse effect for 5 seconds, preventing the target from healing. Chris melee type. Chris deals 300% critical hit damage to the target, grants allies a quick movement buff for 2 seconds, and deals damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, inflicting additional damage equal to 25% of the target's maximum health. Mirage defense type gains the Veil effect upon a successful attack, which can negate 1 instance of damage. Deals damage to targets within a 4-meter radius of Mirage. Targets hit will be taunted and provide Mirage with a high evasion effect. Black Rose range type deals critical hit damage equal to 350% of attack to the target, make the target bleed for 2 seconds, causing damage equivalent to 20% of attack per second. It also enters stealth mode for 8 seconds, during which Black Rose cannot be attacked but needs to remain close to allies. Caesar melee type Caesar applies poison effect upon successful attack, dealing an additional 20% damage per second. With the active skill, Caesar deals damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, inflicting silence effect for 10 seconds, preventing the target from using skills. Reroll support type deals 300% critical damage to the target. Upon a successful attack, restores 3.1% of the maximum HP to all allies, deals 250% damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, and removes all buffs from the target after a successful attack. Isabella range type. Isabella inflicts a 1.5 second stun effect upon a successful attack on the target, dealing damage within a 2-meter radius around the target, and applies a 2-second sleep effect, rendering the target unable to attack, move, or use skills for a period of time but will awaken upon taking damage. Eris melee type, with debuff lasting 2 seconds, reducing the enemy's final attack by 25%. Additionally, deals 250% damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, inflicting a 1.5 second stun debuff. Snold melee type. After a successful attack, Snold gains an attack speed boost. With an active skill, he deals 310% damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, Meg range type. Meg applies a binding effect for 1.3 seconds, preventing the target from moving, and inflicts a stun effect for 1.5 seconds, rendering the target unable to attack, move, or use skills. Lania support type. Deals high critical hit damage to targets within a 2-meter radius, inflicts a frostbite effect reducing attack and movement speed, and deals additional damage per second. The aura skill grants allies immunity to stun, sleep, paralysis, and knockback. Carl Heron melee type, after successfully attacking the target, makes them tense. With the active skill, deals damage to targets within a 3-meter radius of the caster, applying a 1.5 second paralysis effect, rendering targets unable to attack, move, or use skills. Jave melee type. Upon a successful attack on the target, provides allies with the Gale buff, increasing attack speed and allowing rapid approach to the target. Deals damage to nearby enemies, pushing them back 2 meters. Spike melee type. After a successful attack, Spike provides a focuses buff to allies for 2 seconds, increasing final accuracy. Active skill inflicts frostbite's effect for 5 seconds. Dellen's melee type provides a brief buff to teammates that increases critical hit damage upon a successful attack on the target through an active skill, deals high damage in a frontal area, and silences the target for 10 seconds upon a successful attack, preventing them from using skills. Sing Tao. Defense type brings a diverse set of skills to the battlefield. His attacks are marked by their potency, inflicting damage equal to 150% of his attack to the target. Furthermore, his critical hits are particularly devastating. However, Team Teo's true strength lies in his crowd control immunity. He grants himself a 10-second shield against a range of debilitating effects. This immunity not only bolsters his durability, but also ensures his uninterrupted presence on the battlefield, making Sing Teo an invaluable asset in challenging encounters. And then S tier Bylong. Melee type targets range type foes first, dealing 300% attack as critical hit damage. Gains a 16% critical hit rate boost for 2 seconds on a successful attack. Also obtains AE doesn't fall buff for 6 seconds. Usable once when fallen. Clemeth support type. Deals critical hit damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target and applies a 5-second silence debuff, preventing them from using skills. Additionally, through the aura skill, reduces the skill cooldowns of melee type allies. Rachel melee type. Rachel provides keen attack buff to allies for 2 seconds upon a successful attack, increasing allies' critical rate. Deals damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, inflicting burn effect for 5 seconds, dealing 20% additional damage per second. Or K. Range type applies bleed effect upon a successful attack, lasting for 2 seconds, dealing additional damage to the target per second and increases attack speed buff. Rudy defense class. After a successful attack, Rudy provides allies with the sturdy shield buff for 2 seconds, restoring 10% of Rudy's own HP per second for 5 seconds and granting control immunity during this period. Bathory range type deals critical hit damage equal to 300% of attack to the target. Consumes 10% of the caster's max HP to recover all allies' HP by 3.8% of HP AE. Passive skill recovers HP equal to 20% of damage deal. Harmel melee type gains a defense buff upon a successful attack on the target, increasing final defense, and inflicts a stun debuff, rendering the target unable to attack, move, or use skills for a period of time. Ryan melee type. After successfully attacking the target, Ryan gains an evasion increase buff for 2 seconds, increasing Ryan's final evasion. He deals 700% damage to the target and gains a critical hit rate increase buff, increasing his critical hit rate. Tara range type. After an attack, Tara gets a Tenzaville effect, negating 1 instance of damage. Her active skill damages enemies in a 2 radius of the target and bestows the Uafir Spirits buff on range type allies for 5s, increasing their final attack power. Seaton applying a defense reduction effect, lasting 1 second, reducing the enemy's final defense. It restores 25% of all allies' health and removes all debuffs from the targets. Zoe support type deals critical hit damage equal to 275% of attack to the target, inflicts reduces final evasion by 50% for 2 seconds upon a successful attack. The active skill grants nullifies damage taken 1 time to all allies for 10 seconds. Sebastian range type. After a successful attack, Sebastian gains an attack increase buff for 2 seconds, increasing final attack power by 25%. His active skill, Magic Bullet Burst, deals 880% damage to the target. Salem ranged hero. He deals 175% attack damage and 250% critical hit damage. After attacking, he gains a 2-second stealth buff. Becoming immune to attacks near allies, Salem can deal 250% attack damage in a tomb area by moving 5m behind the nearest target, also reducing the target's critical hit rate by 20% for 5 seconds. Finally, let's talk about SS Tire. Ingrid melee type inflicts critical hit damage on the target, applies a defense debuff, reducing final defense, deals high damage to the target, and applies a frostbite effect, lasting for 10 seconds. Frostbite can decrease attack and movement speed and deals additional damage per second. Misha, melee type, applies poison effect upon successful attack, dealing additional damage per second, inflicting high damage on the target. Applies curse effect upon successful attack, lasting for 10 seconds, preventing the target from healing. Eileen, melee type, grants allies a buff that increases final attack power upon a successful attack on the target. Deals damage in a semicircular area in front of Eileen, inflicting a paralysis effect that momentarily prevents the target from attacking, moving, and using skills. Kyriel, range type, gains attack speed, increased buff upon successful attack, lasting for 2 seconds, increasing attack speed and dealing high damage to the target, and receives a 10-second attack boost, increasing final attack power. Kagura, range type, deals 225% attack damage, inflicts a 2.5-second bind. Additionally, deals 250% attack damage in a 2x6m area in front of the caster, knocking the target back 5m. Increases final damage by 50% against melee type. Fengyan, melee character, focuses on attacking the nearest targets. He deals 200% attack damage and 250% critical hit damage. When he successfully attacks, he gains a 10-second veil buff to block 1 instance of damage. His ultimate attack hits the target for 700% attack damage. He also enhances his melee allies with Keen Attack LVI5 for 5 seconds after a successful attack, increasing their critical hit rate by 20%. However, for your team build, you should have 2-3 melee characters. Otherwise, the critical hit rate won't trigger. Ace melee type deals 320% critical hit damage to the enemy, can reduce skill cooldown time by 3 seconds, and grants the Blood Moon buff for 2 seconds. Ace activates the ultimate skill, dealing 900% damage to the target and gains a 10-second buff, increasing Ace's critical hit rate and attack speed by 24%. Rhine, range type, dealing 360% critical damage, removing buffs on hit and boosting final critical damage by 24%. She gains a 2-second Crimson Scales buff. Her active skill excels with 11-20% attack damage, a 30% final damage increase, and a 100% critical hit rate boost on successful attacks. Luba, a formidable member of the Four Lords faction, a defense-type character with a versatile skill set. His abilities include dealing substantial damage, critical hits, self-healing, and inflicting debuffs on enemies. Lubu's unique skills make him a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield as he excels in both attack and defense, delivering powerful attacks, recovering health, and weakening adversaries. He inflicts the warrior god's majesty debuff for 5 seconds, increasing the target's damage taken by 30% and decreasing their final attack by 30%. Well, the above 7 Nights Idle Adventure November update best tier list. I've provided timestamps in the description. If you find the video is helpful, don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you next video.